Week 5 at AEL University, and that means it's our final day of the group stage within the world of tanks. My name is Max von Neumann, also known as Formal Casting. Joining me, it's going to be Mendrix once again, as we're here to bring you the 5th round. Still the final day. 6th round's going to be happening a little bit off stream, and that's going to be at the end of it all. However, this 5th round, Mendrix, I feel like this is going to be the one that really tells us where our seeding is going to lie.
Absolutely, and a lot of it also comes down to our first match of the night as well. Just looking at these guys, will there be an opportunity for UQ to really steal ahead, or will UNSW actually manage to take one back and pull things make things a little bit more interesting and make more closer towards a tiebreaker?
Yeah, we could see that tiebreaker happening later tonight as well, depending on how this one plays out. Of course, our second match is going to be that fight for third between UoN and UoW as well. And there's a reason why both these matchups are kind of the more intriguing ones, why round 5 is a bit more what we're expecting, because throughout this season, it really has felt like there's two different tiers of teams right now, with our upper tier playing first and our lower tier playing second. Before we get too into it, though, just real quick, it is worth saying that the AEUL is sponsored by Predator Gaming, the PC partner of this event, as well as AOC Monitors, the monitor partner, and RIG, the headset partner for this event. Obviously, with the three of those, we're able to put this together. We can get more into them as we get later into this broadcast, because Mendrix, I feel like we're just about ready to go in.
I think both teams are raring to go, and I'm also looking forward to see how they actually started off, because of course it's going to be on Ghost Town, and that means things can be a little bit different in terms of what you want to bring to it. And already off the bat, definitely some interesting tanks have been picked up here. The FVs as well, with the M44s. This is going to be a fun one.
All arties all the way. We love to see it. You know, we saw a little bit of this sort of attitude last week as well, coming from, I believe it was New South Wales then. So looks like they've kind of convinced UQ to go along with it, which is a little bit interesting considering what's at stake. Now, it should be worth noted that when these two guys played last time, it came down to the tiebreak round in Ghost Town, where it was UQ who did win it out. And I remember it came down to the wire. It was a duel happening right in the middle of the town. This time around, though, with the artillery sort of approach, we're not even touching the city. Everyone wants to be as wide as possible.
Yeah, everyone's just looking to spread out. Of course, a lot of different danger zones throughout this map. As you can see, everyone's beginning to move along the different lines to the outskirts, although Hot Rod will be able to find Asian Penguin here as well. Nothing's been spotted out just yet, but soon they will see each other, and now it's going to be a matter of who gets to shoot first. And maybe Asian Penguin's like, I'm facing the wrong way. Let me just get into cover and just hull dance around the side here as well. But of course, I feel like there's a bit more reinforcements available for UQ. One shot gets fired out of the blue there, but nothing will land just for the time being.
I mean, you would say more reinforcements are there for UQ if you want to get close quarters with it, but these are artillery shots. I mean, New South Wales can kind of take pot shots from across the map right now, and realistically, it's kind of still that little game of hide and seek. Now, Scorpio has got himself pinned down. Hot Rod still hiding on the other side of the wall. Not Beast has been found, and Not Beast could be a bit more exposed. First shot does come from Epic, but it doesn't make contact. Second shots do make contact. Not Beast hit from afar. It's another lob shot. Ooh, a little bit behind.
This is a completely different game to what we've been used to throughout this entire series. This is so interesting to watch. You can see Epic now is just on a mission to run away. Does manage to get around the side there and get a shot while dodging another lob on the far side here. Now Hot Rod's trying to get back in just to sort of get something back here. See if perhaps he's got the loaded in position. Both of these tanks are ready to fire. Epic on 102 HP, but to be honest, because it is artillery, this HP doesn't really matter if you land a direct shot.
Yeah, meanwhile, Arcadia has still just been sitting in the background doing what they can. From behind, Hot Rod gets the flank, puts them away. Arcadia now pushing in towards Scorpio, though, who's still playing this dangerous game of, well, I want to say cat and mouse. It's kind of just more hide and seek right now between these two because neither
It's like mouse
want to
and
make a
mouse, and
little
they're just
peek.
like, who can get the cheese first before the mouse trap lands?
Well, Arcadia's coming, and I think that's the trap coming up that hill right now. You can see on the other side, though, Hot Rod as well trying to race back up. It's going to be a battle, I think, when you get to the top. Arcadia still trying to stay hidden, has not been spotted. Hot Rod beelining towards the scene. It's going to be a chaotic 2v2, I believe, in just a few moments. As soon as one of the flankers are spotted, Hot Rod should be making themselves known first, but doesn't go over the wall.
Yeah, Arcadia has been spotted out now as well. Everyone knows exactly, everyone is in position.
Oh.
A shot is fired, but it does go wide. Hot Rod stays alive there, and now
Has
that they
to
know
run.
Arcadia's into play here as well, there's
Another
another
miss.
shot there from Scorpio. Here comes Adrian Penguin, wants to go for a direct shot, point blank fire,
Oh, no.
gets right into the middle of it all. It's not really landing, and there we go. We do see members starting to fall. Hot Rod, the only person left for UQ. We do have Arcadia making the way around as well, just to try and get themselves
Penguin
into a better
survived.
position. He's somehow still going for that point blank range, and the first map will be going to UNSW. That was a good one.
Oh, UQ, they had the itchier trigger fingers. They fired first, and that opened the doorway for New South Wales to kind of just rush them down. And a pretty easy victory for New South Wales after that point. We even got to see some ramming speed action. Overall, though, again, you have to go back to the last time these two teams did play each other. New South Wales won the first two maps, and then UQ kind of reverse swept them. However, as well in that situation, Ghost Town was that deciding matchup. It went UQ's way, and now we're seeing it go in favor of New South Wales, yet we're also trying to read into a match that was all artillery.
Look, that's the interesting part here. It was a little bit of a meme. It was a fantastic meme, if you have to ask me, in terms of what they went for. But now that perhaps that we are moving into that next round, they might be playing things a little bit more straight up, probably play the lines with a bit of heavy mixes coming into it. I would love to see another artillery round because, to be honest, if it was just all artillery, Ghost Town is probably one of the best maps for it. There are so many different vantage points that tank destroyers and artillery can take advantage of and actually look to snipe from around the map as well. We perhaps not even come to a line of them trying to get point blank range, but just have a bunch of lob shots and snipe shots coming into play. And that would definitely be very interesting if they just change that up going into the next round.
Yeah, it would be interesting if they opt for that. I somehow doubt it. I would love to see it. At least one artillery, I think, could work out. Last time, it was sort of a tank destroyer, I think, on the flank that was being run by the University of New South Wales, but it never really paid out because UQ was just able to rush themselves into the city and find that cover, and then they were safe. Before we get into our second match, though, I do want to have a talk about one of our sponsors in particular, of course, that being Predator. Conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. Predator, they are the gaming PC partner of all the AEL. You can go out there. Again, they really want you to conquer those new worlds, so get conquering. They put power and precision into your hands, elevate and evaluate your gaming. So it's good to study, but more importantly, elevate your gaming experience in every way with the quality and performance thanks to Predator. So a big thank you to them as well. Of course, while we have that time, would also like to thank AOC, the monitor sponsor. Now, they have just launched the first ever monitor crafted for League of Legends. League of Legends represented in every aspect, and it's a hex tech design thing that has like logos, specific
cool.
game settings modes, in-game visual to achieve their fullest potential from the combination of AOC's monitor expertise and with the creators of League of Legends and Riot Games. Two of them came together. They made it. It's called the AGON Pro AG275QXL. Yeah, a little bit of a mouthful right there. You can go check it out at au.aoc.com. So you can even see it down there, kind of flashing about right there, that new monitor. And, of course, RIG, What It Takes to Win. They are the headset sponsor of this event, delivering superior audio quality for all competitive gamer streamers at all levels. Join that RIG team. Enhance your gaming experience. Hear people creeping up behind you. Hear those artillery shots whizzing right by your tank as you're somehow able to avoid them. All of that and more through RIG. So big thank you to all of our sponsors.
Yeah, and I believe me, I can definitely hear the difference here with my rig headset at the same time. Power and precision is definitely going to be the aim of the game of both of these teams now as well coming into the next round. Because to be honest, if it had to come down to any teams I could say really were the shining lights of this competition, of course, is going to be between UQ and UNSW. These guys really do have such a close level of play between them. If I had to say who has a specific edge, I think we've been seeing it has been UQ throughout the tournament because they're a little bit more methodical. They've got a little bit more extra strategy when it comes to the play. But that mechanics is definitely something that's very impressive and seems to be on the side of UNSW on that flip. So it really is going to be interesting to see now how they do play this next one out. And it looks like it's still going to be pretty memey because we got some light tanks coming into play.
I wonder if they're running the gauntlet. So we start with artillery, then we go light. Map 3 medium, map 4 heavy, and we go tiebreaker tank destroyers.
You reckon? The full
reckon
gauntlet?
That would. Yeah, well, assuming we go the full gauntlet. Like, I mean, no reason why not, right? Last time these two teams went at it, we did go 2-5. It's been the only time we've gone to a tiebreaker, and why not see it again?
Well, this is definitely interesting because you can see that UQ has immediately just jumped straight into the heart of Ghost Town at this point. And where they are sitting is definitely just outside of this initial danger zone. So if they do poke their heads out a little bit more, they will be a little bit open to fire here. And with UNSW actually down near that K line or down near the K side of the map there, you can see they're trying to hold back and actually not really give too much away. So things may take a while before we see any real action just because of how far these tanks are away from each other. Yeah. But being light tanks, it can move quicker when they do. They can move a lot quicker when they want to.
Yeah, but they haven't been wanting to. Like, imagine going all light tanks and then staying as far away from the action as possible, and that's what New South Wales seems to be doing right now. It's a little bit of an espionage mission. They want to sneak around that left side of the map. They want to stay hidden. And, well, to their credit, it's a good thing that they're taking their time. It's a good time that, they're watching their sort of cover points. But UQ wouldn't even be able to see them anyways because they're currently half in the city as well as staying back as well all the way up at the top hot rod, just sticking on that high ground. So plenty of time for New South Wales, still left on the clock, 5.5 minutes. I imagine this one won't heat up till the very end.
Yeah, especially because when you look at what's happening in the scenario, it is going to be just an all-out war when the all the tanks come into place at this point. But now I'll just be hanging out for the time being as well. It is a really good position here for Scorpion as I take a look as well. You can see they're trying to line that up. It has a little bit of back control here as well at the same time. And like you said, Hot Rod chilling on the fire and watching both the backs of Scorpio and Northbeast. So yeah, things really do rely a lot on Hot Rod at the moment to call out when he does see the on-rolling tanks coming on this side because they still haven't been spotted just for the time being, but they soon will be within range.
Yeah, soon they will be able to kind of poke out, and then, well, we'll see what Scorpio is going to be able to do. Has a little bit of help as well from Not Beast. The big question is, how impactful will Hot Rod's flank be? New South Wales, they are a bit more grouped together. They could go for a rush, except it looks as if Epic is going to check out that high ground, and Hot Rod's flank might get spotted out before it can be put into motion.
Yeah, and this is really good as well. As you can see, they're coming around the back end. It's going to be rough. I think that there's going to be a nice little pickup here for Epic, and that means that Northbeast and Scorpio will actually be sitting ducks in the back end because they're going to be more concerned about Epic before the rest of the team comes rolling in from Arcadia and Asian Penguin. And now they've been spotted. The first shot's going to go off. Nothing's going to land just for the time being, and the damage seems to be going the way of actually Hot Rod. That first, but now he's taking so much to return and out of there. Quick return from Epic, and now the rest of the team, but UNSW is beginning to move in, and they've all been spotted. The shots are coming out.
Yeah, New South Wales loves to move in as soon as they find themselves with the advantage. They will get aggressive. They will get in your face, and this time UQ is looking to respond in kind. Not Beast goes straight for the hill. Meanwhile, Scorpio is going to try to play that cover game. Arcadia as well, getting a bit involved into the city. We go. Okay, I'm not sure how we got so deep in here. Did that shot go through a wall? No, it went underneath it because Asian Penguin was able to find it, and those light tanks just jumping about. That's the end of the map.
They're so quick and just moved in between the walls at those points. That was just crazy.
I think we jumped forward in time.
I think we did. Yes, I think there was a little bit of a change there. Players using time machines now. Admins, look at that, okay? Admins, check out what's happening here. If the players are using time machines, you need to get on that right now, okay? If both the teams at the same time decided it was okay to jump into the future and as things played out as per normal, I'm okay with it, but I think the admins need to double check that.
I think it was just a little case of lag happening on our end, but that's all well and good. The important thing is New South Wales up 2-0, in quite dominant fashion. Again, what do we realistically learn from this? Not that much. However, if you think about it, Mendrix, it's not too surprising to see these two teams kind of taking these more for fun strats right now, these matchups. Expectation is they're going to be meeting in the finals, and you don't really want to be giving away what your game plan is.
Why do you have to start using logic on me, Formal? I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? The idea that they wanted to say, yeah, we can be a little bit memey here, and let's actually just, give a bit of a throwaway because we are just that far ahead in the tournament. They actually have the ability to do that. And it isn't like you're going to be setting yourself up to verse one of the stronger teams. You both know you are the two strongest teams in this competition. So might as well have a little bit of fun. Obviously, they're still trying. That's the key thing that we can look at here. They're initiating the best mechanics for the strategy and the chosen tanks at this time. But of course, like you said, nothing is really being given away. So we're probably expecting to see all of the stops brought out in the finals.
I do imagine that will be the case, and this is kind of that warm up. But that said, if New South Wales wins this one out and both these teams do as expected and kind of win in that next round, I believe that will mean a tiebreaker will have to be played between these two by the end of the night, just for that seeding going into the playoffs. And that could be fun in and of itself, as it were. To avoid that, UQ, they're going to have to win 3 in a row right now, so pressure is going to be a bit on them. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
No, it will be very rough as well. I mean, with the next match that we're going to see coming into play as well, it is going to be a bit of a tough one. Muravanka, definitely an interesting map in terms of the lines that want to be played as well in that one. So do they continue to be memey? That's the big thing here. If they're going to continue to be meme, I don't want to give anything away. I'm happy to just play another tiebreaker off the back of this as well and just continue to play, just fun tanks in this one. Because again, I don't want to give away what my clear strategy is going to be. I would say, we're probably going to see something a bit more fun coming into the next game.
I think we are as well. That's kind of what my expectations are. Again, I want to see them run that tank gauntlet, right? So are we going to see the mediums? Are we going to see the tank destroyers? No, we're going to see the heavies, apparently. We're busting the big boys out. 6 heavies, everyone as beefy as possible. And not even the normal heavies. I mean, yeah, you've got a couple VKs in there, but M6s on the side of New South Wales.
Yeah, definitely interesting with the choices as well. And looks like they're opting to play, or UNSW is opting to play down through the 3 to 4 line on this next play here. It seems that they do want to just have some control in the town for UQ as well as they're going down the guts in this case. And Heavy's into the mix here. VKs, like you said, even though the M6 is coming into it, still going to have a little bit of extra oomph on that power, but they've been spotted out very quickly as well. Arcadia are under fire, but no shots will land, no damage will be taken, and now these teams are beginning to use this high ground to their advantage, or UNSW will be using this high ground to their advantage.
Yeah, I do imagine they would be defending point 1. Still with good sight on any motions towards point 2. Scorpio, though, has good sight on Penguin. Gets some damage down. Epic as well, clipped by Hot Rod. As Scorpio continues to lay fire from a hidden position and it gets more damage in on Penguin. Scorpion definitely in a really nice spot. All the focus of New South Wales currently back down on Hot Rod. Just kind of stuck behind that steeple down there. In the end, it looks like New South Wales are going to have to back away from the high ground for now.
I do like the strategy by UQ as well. You can see they've been definitely playing that metagame. Typically, the heavies have to run up through that 1-2 line. It takes them too long to get around on the other side of the 9-0 lines. That's normally where the medium tanks like to sit and play. So we just park ourselves straight into the middle of the heart of the town. That will allow us to get some easy shots off if they do make their way down the normal line in this sense. But you do see that there is already going to be one person sitting on the point here just to force a little bit of pressure on, or in this case, Epic is close by. Hot Rod getting very close to the action and taking a nip of damage in the back end, but that is going to be some spotting damage on the flip side as well for UQ.
Yeah, that's very ambitious from Hot Rod, and I'm not sure it's going to pay out for them in the long term. Still sitting on just over half health right now as Not Beast is going to start playing it forward. Still no line of sight on Scorpio. And that's going to be pretty key, I feel like. If Scorpio can find a way to continue to get these sort of awkward angles from back behind that smokestack, well, could be good signs in the future. As it stands, New South Wales, they're looking to reposition. They're looking to retreat for now, and that could allow UQ to push towards point 1.
Yeah, they're beginning to make their way back into this, but it's going to be hard for them to get through that town as well. They do have a bit of time on their hands. That's their real advantage here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds is enough to get around to that next point. But where UQ's actually entrenched, they can actually be in a good spot in that sense. So it's going to be a bit rough, but you can see that UQ are still in the attack, making their way in now to push on towards that number 1 point. And it is really going to be on UNSW here when they do show their faces and poke out, that the next few shots land so they can put some pressure back onto their opponents.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Scorpio was eventually spotted. Agent Penguin now is not, and a little bit of revenge from before. The blind shot this time coming from the Penguin does contact. However, UQ just behind that berm. They move forward as a team, and they find a quick kill. That's Epic, who's no longer playing with us. Not Beast, gets chunked, but is still relatively healthy at this stage as Penguin and Hawkwad also exchange some blows. Sitting all the way back, though, again, Scorpio just helping out, keeping the University of New South Wales pinned down, and now, with the second member gone, with Arcadia on a sliver of health, it's looking like UQ is going to begin their comeback.
Yeah, Scorpio just had the better angle when where UNSW were positioned as well, and that really just allowed Hot Rod and Not Beast to slowly edge their way up while they were spotting. Scorpio was in such a good position in that scenario that when they did pop their heads out, it was basically free reign for UQ, and they managed to put themselves onto the board.
And with that, a chance to, keep on this. They pulled off the reverse sweep before. They're looking to do it again right now. If they take that next map, we have our tiebreaker.
And that would be very interesting as well. I believe the last map as well was going to be Himmelsdorf coming into this mix. So that will be a very interesting map. It was the one that we started everything on as well. I know it's your favorite map because you like to just pop your tank over the edge sometimes from time to time. But of course, with both of these teams that really do understand the strategy of that map, we'll get to see some pretty crazy things happen in real good flanks. So I will be excited to see a Himmelsdorf tiebreaker if it does come into it. But of course, UNSW are still on match point. They could turn things around now that we're going to be flipping it the other direction.
Yeah, I feel like at this stage, we'll see if they're able to bounce back from it. I'm curious if we're going to see a different tank type because so far, all arty, all light, all heavy, still have medium, still have tank destroyers. You'd want to save the TDs, I think, for Himmelsdorf because that just seems like the most horrible thing to try and play on that map, especially in a 3v3. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case. I'm hoping we get to see mediums this time around. But I also could see a world where UQ is thinking, you know what, let's at least take it to that tiebreaker. Let's try hard a little bit in this next stage, and let's just make sure that, we make this series last as long as possible.
Well, again, if we get to see more heavies, we're expecting it to be played along that, that left side of the map as well. Well, from where I'm looking at, it's going to be the left side of the map. Obviously, it's going to be different for the players there, but the lines they'll be playing up is going to be along that E to F side as well, purely because that's really the quickest way that those heavy tanks can move through. It would be nice to see a medium get into the mix as well and actually make their way along the other side. So it just gives you a few extra strategies to come into it. Of course, you lose a bit of firepower, you lose a bit of extra push onto that main point if you want to make that sort of play.
Yeah, and we'll see if they'll be able to piece it together. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're New South Wales, you're more likely to try to bring in the mediums right now. UQ, they still feel very comfortable playing it slow, playing a bit more methodical, taking the heavies, keeping players back, and then, just picking those moments when to kind of capitalize on a positional mistake that their opponents might make. And in that regards, I do see UQ more as that team that might want to stay on those heavies more so, whereas New South Wales, they've never been afraid to just all of a sudden charge you or all of a sudden go in and really initiate that brawl. That's like the New South Wales versus UoW matches were always so much fun because those two teams are kind of gung-ho at times. And we'll see what strategy does prevail. I mean, it would be exciting if New South Wales kind of evened this one out. So we went through our group stages with our two top teams each going 1-1 apiece, but we still have to get into that match to kind of figure out who's going to go where.
Exactly. And I think another thing comes into it as well. It could be an idea of them saying, hey, thank you for showing me a little bit of what you're planning to do in the near future, but we could just go full meme once again. Don't want to give anything away. And perhaps if it ends up just being a coin flip and we do give it away to UNSW in this one, why not? We're okay with that.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the case. Again, we won't know till we get ourselves out there and we get ourselves on that battlefield, which I'm sure is only a few moments away now at this stage. Mendrix, do you think we get a tiebreaker? Do we get to see a map 5, or is it going to be ended right here? I mean, the Arties are back, so...
Ooh, this is an interesting map for the Arties as well, because again, there's those three real points of entry, which is going to be through the 1 to 2 lines on that one side, and then of course through 9 to 0. They're always going to be fighting along E to F. But when it's 3 artilleries into the mix, it's just nuts because at that point now everyone can just be on initial points into it. You can see they're using the forest and the small town for cover here for UQ. Of course, they're going to be on defense here, so they can actually just sit back and wait for their opponents to show themselves. Epic out in the open there as well. It's going to fire out that first shot. Both of them are going to miss.
No one can
3 shots are going to miss as well, but they're just going to barely land. And you know what's the advantage of being artillery? You're quite a small target. It is, even though you pack quite some power, you are hard to hit when you are in an annoying position.
And those FV304s are quite speedy. Ooh, that just kind of whizzed by Scorpio right there. Shot from downtown coming from Arcadia, not quite on its mark. Now Epic still trying to stay tight, still trying to hug the walls. Here comes the shot. Oh, just misses Hot Rod, not Beast and Hot Rod, each playing forward. Scorpio is staying back. Hot Rod just sitting on top of that hill. Has to be so careful right here. Epic wants to get into a brawl. First shot misses, second shot misses. Those are long reload times. Can Epic get himself into position? Shot from downtown misses. That one does contact. First kill came from Epic though.
Yeah, that was a nice big hit there on the side. There another one. Epic just dodging shots left, right, and center. If there was going to be a Matrix tank in this game right now, it would be Epic on that FV. Of course, you can see Horror is trying to line up another shot there. Manages to dodge out once again. Scorpio takes a nick of damage on the flip side there, so he's still going to be happy to get another shot here. Hot Rod also dodging another shot. And Epic's just floating around. He misses Blue Blank and Rams.
Oh my goodness, Epic getting it done, just holding the target in position, and now poor Scorpio on their own, getting shelled from two angles as Epic straight down the middle. Scorpio, to keep UQ's chances alive, needs to 1v3 this arty battle, but Epic has just been impossible to pin down. Finally, the nuisance does go down, and Scorpio, I think if you're Scorpio, you have no choice. You need to rush everyone.
Yeah, he's taking another shot though, and he's actually been slowed down as well by that initial hit from Arcadia. Asian Penguin has loaded up, and he's ready for his next shot as well. He's really trying to line everything into position. Really, UNSW have all of the advantage at this point.
It's going to be a base capture.
Oh, he needs to land a shot. He's only got 7 seconds.
This is it. This shot has to hit. Scorpio's got to take it. 3, 2, 1. No shot, no chance.
Oh,
it's going to go to New South Wales via base capture.
Is that the first base capture we've had this entire tournament?
Wow,
what a way to actually get one off the end there. It's going to be UNSW pulling it on through. Of course, this means we might have to see a few more games as well for UNSW. We might not get a chance to actually see them be played out, but of course, that means that now they managed to tie up what seems to be that scenario between the two, where they've actually managed to lose one apiece now between the two of them.
Yeah, and again, when you're looking at sort of grand finals and what that could be like, no idea, right? Like, we saw 2 all-arty matches, which I have to admit, absolutely deliver. I love all-arty matches. I think this entire game should be all-arty matches. We should just make this an all-arty tournament because that's a lot of fun. But overall, hats off to New South Wales. They get it done in both of the arty matches, might I add. The reason why I hesitate to call them the favorites of this event now, even though we did just see them beat UQ, when we busted out the more meta tanks, those heavies, UQ did win.
Just them flexing a little bit of their dominance, I feel. UQ's trying to say, hey, you know, when you want to make it a straight-up battle, we definitely do have a bit of a slight edge over you in that scenario. But again, a lot of it comes down to the fact that it was that idea of, hey, we're playing on attack and defense. Sometimes it is nicer to be on the offensive line, depending on where you do pop up in the map. So they were really taking full advantage of the fact that they managed to really bruise any ego of UNSW in that heavies match. So I agree with you. I don't want to give anything away. I don't think there's any clear favorite just now, but when it comes down to who would expect to be the winner, it's probably going the way of UQ just by a nature of historical performance on the meta tanks.
Yep, and we'll see if that does play through. Obviously, we don't really know what the maps are going to be yet on the final. I think that's going to be super determinant as well, who the favorite would be on that day, assuming they each make it to the final. There are 2 teams who do want to play spoiler, Mendrix, that, of course, being UON and UoW. We will be getting to those 2, I believe, after a break, so do stay with us. When we come back, it's going to be our second matchup of the evening, so see you then.
Hey, I'm Rose Danielle. I'm a cosplayer, streamer, AV tech, and a massive Destiny fan. I'm going to check out how Destiny 2 runs on the Nitro 5. Look at this. Look, bring the camera in. Look at this. This is running Destiny at highest. It's still hitting 60 frames per second. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't believe it. I cannot fathom that this thing has that much grunt in such a tiny form factor. And there's so much going on the screen at the same time, like particle effects and stuff, and I can barely hear the fans too. If I had headphones on while I was gaming, you wouldn't even hear it. I like this thing. Can I take this? Will you guys mind if I take this. Like, actually, hold on. Is this plugged in? This won't smooth, get away. It's fine.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? Again, 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 again. Did you make them All the choices you made, did you make them
All the choices you made, did you make them
Did you make them All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again?
You just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep. Now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done I'll be gone. distant when you're home, always hanging by your phone. Do I even know you? And I get paranoid sometimes, 'cause I know that you ain't mine, and I'm lost without you. You still be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see no tainted love is all we have? I wish you'd run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave, and by the time it's done, I'll be gone.
When you feel the world is over, when you say you're feeling lonely, if you ever need a shoulder, you know where to find me. Stop chasing all the city lights, breathe me in, go on and take your bite, count.
Secret superweapons are complex, often attributed to a single powerful mind. They are made possible by the efforts of assistants and junior researchers who rarely get the spotlight. Like Ermelinda Jung, a talented physicist with a spark for all things electromagnetic. Despite being young, Ermelinda contributed heavily to a classified high-tech tank project. But along with that, Miss Jung developed automated sentries for that large-scale vehicle. She even conducted performance testing of the units while piloting various tanks. The Luva was used to assess their targeting, and the T-92 to check their pathfinding. The sentry's performance was optimized, and so was Ermelinda's. A brilliant young scientist became an aspiring tank commander. Make Ermelinda Jung fight on your side. Pick up the September drop from Prime Gaming, High Voltage. Along with the Magnetic Commander, it offers you a choice of 2 out of 6 items. Chocolate, 5 missions for ×5 experience when victorious, and 4 rental tanks, including the Luva and the T-92. You're also entitled to the fully charged decal, the Spark of Genius medal, a day of premium account, and more missions for ×5 experience. Acquire the High Voltage package by clicking on the dedicated World of Tanks Prime Gaming page. Link your Amazon and World of Tanks accounts. Proceed by clicking the Allow button and redeem the offer. If you did all that while in the game, just exit and log in again to get all the great stuff. Visit the official site for additional information. Claim High Voltage to honor the unsung heroines of engineering and all junior specialists doing their job well, and also some of their superiors' job. See you in battle, Commander.
One more strained game before playoffs kick off next week. It's going to be our final match of round 5. A fight for, well, what could be perceived to be third place. Definitely that third seed right now is UoN will be taking on UoW. I'm still Formal, still joined by Mendrix. And for a last matchup, this is it's a little sad almost in a way.
Yeah, it is. I feel like it's coming to an end of an era to a bit of a degree. Because even though we've got the next match, it's going to be for all the chickens next week, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's the
Whereas
big
now
one.
it was-
The big matches are next week. We
Yeah,
have
big
4 of them
matches.
next week, actually, because we're going to be streaming both semifinals, the third place match, as well as our grand final. So it's going to be a long day. Long day next week. And realistically, this is just, for seeding. This is just to cap off the end of the season for some fun. And with some fun, a little birdie did kind of chirp in my ear. We're continuing a trend that's happening today that I'm absolutely in love with.
Look, you know what I really love about it as well is we were even saying at the beginning of the tournament, we want to see some arties. I want to see some arties. I would love to see some SPGs.
Let's bring more arties.
Let's bring this in. Maybe some light tanks. Let's have a bit of fun. Let's do this a little bit.
More arties.
And the players are like, you want it? You got it. We're giving you arties. We're giving you artillery. We're giving you light tanks as well. And it's going to be the FV303s and, of course, the M44s coming into the mix once again. This time it is going to be the University of Waikato on defense up against the University of Newcastle as well. So really going to be good as we're coming into it.
Yeah, and take a look at how far back UoW is wanting to play. UoW has been arguably the most forward-playing, most aggressive team in this event. Not this time. They're hiding as far back as possible. They don't want anything to do with it, and it's UoN who's pressing super far forward. It's Napalmer who is leading the charge. Is going to get spotted out, but does find one already back on the other side. Skelemus, do we play cat and mouse like last time? No, because taking a look at the shot from behind, Whale almost is able to find Napalmer, who's still able to tuck into that crevice. And in the back, Pope Gordon. Looks like they just took a shot, but it looked like it just hit the wall in front of them. That one's a lot closer.
That was definitely something that you want to actually see, yeah. But it is hard to control these arties, right? That's the big thing here. You're thinking you're going to get the shots. So we even saw it before, even when things were going a little bit wide, a little bit softer. There were definitely times that they just mismatched the incline of where the hill was going to be, and then they ended up just going out a little bit too low, ends up hitting the ground, obviously missing its target. So you do need to be a little bit more on point, of course, when you're going to be using these. More shots come lobbing on through. That's going to continue to hit the side of the cliff face.
Whale was almost hit by his teammate right there. That was a little bit spooky. Skelemus is going to try to make the rush on Napalmer. It's a miss. Now Napalmer's in trouble, but the shot from downtown from Pope Gordon does make this a more fair fight. Napalmer survives the first shot, but Skelemus survives in tow. This next one's going to be dangerous. Backup does not come from behind. Skelemus gets credited for the kill. You'd expect one more shot from Pope Gordon. Maybe he could find Skelemus, but it looks like the UoW member might be able to make it safety into the city.
Yeah, he's just beelining for cover at this moment in time. Blacksify and Pope Gordon also revealing themselves, but are still going to have a little bit of cover here from the buildings on the side and the side of the tent here. We are going to still have MBS up on that high ground as well, just pointing out. I think can be actually spotting out Pope Gordon for the time being as well. And they're bunched up. I don't think you want to have two tanks bunched up together as well at this moment in time against two artilleries.
Yeah, and it also looked like they kind of drove into their cover and did some damage there. Skelemus able to hide safely back into town. But take note on that time right there. 30 seconds remaining, and we could see a capture.
Yeah, he's just making that move onto it as well. That actually having that timer on that is really nice. They've moved in together at the exact same time, so it's actually forcing out Waikato onto the move here as well. Skelemus was looking for that.
It has to hit. He cannot afford to miss, though. It has to hit, right?
It has to.
Oh, boy.
He's only got the 14 seconds. He's coming in now.
Look, there's the shot. That doesn't make contact. It has to come from Skelemus. They trade 1-for-1, but it resets the timer. Blacksify as well damaged, but it looked like some sort of splash fire, and now it was a team kill.
Oh, no! Newcastle not liking that one on the back end there, but pretty rough on that sense here. Now, Blacksify still has plenty of time to continue just playing this, base map if it wants to at this point. I honestly will just be moving around the entire time, like staying put within the circle. Here we go. Another shot's gonna fire, doesn't land. You can tell MBS doesn't want to move from this position, and of course, moving out would really put him out in the open as well. But is beginning to make that move now after a little bit of reload time has come into play, and now it seems Blacksify MBS,
Yeah, I
it's a
wonder
lot.
where Blacksify could be, right? You know he's in the base, and there's only one area you can't see. Yeah, MBS going straight for it now on the base as well, but you got to make contact. And I think he's going to try to destroy straight through that building, straight through the public toilets. Here comes Blacksify, does not make contact. MBS does, and it's a ram kill to end it. Point goes to UoW.
Yeah, nice little hit there on the side. The MBS didn't really take that much damage for it. I feel like maybe a little bit of self-inflicted damage came through on that shot as well when that happened. And the, as you said, the toilets went down. But that ended up being a pretty fun map on the flip side of things, but a bit unfortunate for both these teams. They continue to just hit their own members.
Yeah, look, the team kill, not great. But outside of that, hey, UoW, they didn't kill their own teammate. In fact, they actually did quite well. They were able to get themselves a win and a map win. And if I'm not mistaken, that's their first map win of the event.
I think they've won. No, they've won one, haven't they?
They got 0-4'd by UoN last time.
Wow, at least they've managed to get themselves onto the board at the very end, right? Like, just to cap off everything to be a little bit more fun there. And you can see the damage really illustrates what's happening there as well. Pope Gordon doing a good chunk, 499. I mean, normally we're used to seeing in the thousands, but when the tanks have such low HP, it doesn't really have the high same impact that it used to when you look at the scoreboards at the end of the map.
I like Blacksify's 17 damage.
It's better than Wales 0, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, true. But, like, how do you even manage 17? Like, that's splash damage, right?
I think so. Yeah, just splash on the side there.
Must have been.
A little bit of collateral damage coming into the mix as well. Well, be interested to see if these guys continue to run a few of the meme tanks. Perhaps maybe we get to see a light battle next as well. Just, following the footsteps of the teams past UNSW and UQ lead the way. I mean, if there was going to be any teams you're wanting to actually mimic, those are the teams. They are at the top of the table at this moment in time. So it makes sense that they're beginning to adjust to the different meta strategies popping up in this tournament, at least.
Yeah. Oh, is this the meta now? Is that what we're calling this? This is the meta.
It's happened. Hey, look at how many games have happened. We've had so many artillery matches now. It's the meta.
We've had more artillery matches than not at this stage. And again, if it is the meta, I absolutely welcome it. If these teams are willing to bust it out in our grand final, yes, by all means, let's make it happen again. As it stands right now, UoW got their first ever map win. They would love to go up 2-0. They'd love to be in the driver's seat for winning their first ever series, but they've got to do it one more time here at Ghost Town. Loading in, and this time it is the lights. And I feel like both these teams, they're running the same course that we saw in our last series. I wonder if it was like a four-way collaboration, just this is how we're playing it.
We're just going to have a bit of fun here as well. As you can see, they are still trying to win. That's the key factor here. Yeah, they may be playing the meme tanks there, but at the end of the day, it's going to be whoever comes out on top is going to be the better team at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Nice
also,
moves
like,
around the map.
can I just add too, though? Like, I like seeing this. I know, for some of the, dedicated tank supporters who could be coming in watching along and they would be expecting that more meta competition. I can understand their frustrations when this happens. But, like, as a show of as a sort of sportsmanship, though, and sort of like collaboration between the teams, the fact that like all of the teams are in on this together, the fact that they're all having a good time despite the vast experience levels that like we see between these teams sometimes, I think it's good overall.
Well, very early start here as well for the University of Newcastle. Some damage unloaded from Napalm and taking Skelmus right down. And speaking of which, Skelmus has been deleted from the map. Napalm has taken a little bit of damage there, but is still relatively healthy at the end of it. Now, MBS and Whale are under attack here. Basically, the three tanks here from the University of Newcastle really trying to reassert their dominance and make this 1-1.
Yeah, that they are, and just every time you look at the UoW tanks, they're just getting shelled upon. Blacksify able to find MBS on that backside. So Whale on their own, 3v1. UoN, I expect them to push. I expect them to try to end. Pope Gordon will be the one leading the charge. They spy each other out. Do we see the shot come through? Yeah, we do. Pope Gordon is outmaneuvering another light tank right now, just kind of showing off the power of that AMD, how fast, how nimble it is, and is able to get right in the face of Whale. Give Pope Gordon the kill. Give UoN the sweep.
Yeah, nice little finish up over there as well. And at least it's going to be one of them coming on through in that sense. So pretty good in that one. 1-1 a piece at this moment in time. It is a sweep in tanks, but of course not on the map. And that does mean that we will be moving towards Muravanka 1-1. So still going to be a pretty even match coming into it. And even though it is, again, more fun tanks coming into the mix, I am still enjoying the action.
If we see 3 heavies, then we know.
You reckon
Then
it's
we
going to be 3
know.
heavies?
If we see 3 heavies aside, then we know, right? Like that would be
Exactly.
the telltale. Because we had because it goes arty, light, heavy, arty. Would it be light again? Oh, I really don't know.
I feel like
tiebreaker is.
they probably said, hey, and if it's tiebreaker, mediums.
No, it's gotta be the TDs. If you're gonna bust in something new, mediums are boring. Break out the tank destroyers.
But why not? I mean, it's going to be on Himmelsdorf. I'd rather
You're right. More
I'd
arty.
rather have like some
More arty in Himmelsdorf.
I would rather have just like medium tanks speeding around the map, just shelling each other. I reckon that
Why
would be
not
fun.
light tanks then, if you'd want that?
Yeah, because the thing is that with the light tanks, there's nice little open ranges. I feel like it can be very quickly over, whereas with the medium tanks, it's more of a scrap fest.
Okay. I see where you're coming
You get
from.
where I'm going on that? Like,
yeah, I just see medium, and my min-max brain always just thinks, but it could be more, and it could be more either way.
You're min-maxing fun at the moment. That's what you're min-maxing.
Exactly. I want maximum fun, and for me, maximum fun is taking light tanks, and we determine who wins by whoever launches themselves the furthest off a castle.
just like tank long jump. Just like how far can we go?
That's how you win. That's how we determine who gets 3rd place. Now, obviously, I have no idea what's actually going to come, and I think that's a lot of fun as well. I'm thinking it's 3 heavies aside. I'm thinking we're kind of mirroring what we saw before, but I want your prediction too. Like, are you with me on that, or do you think
I am with you on that? I look, I'd love it if they just decided to go artilleries the whole way now as well. Now that we seem to be on that same sort of train, like what is the conspiracy this time with the players? But I reckon they've probably sat down and said, yeah, we're going to go this is the way we're going to play it out. Funny enough, that makes it an even map between the two.
It does.
Because they've decided, hey, we've changed, we've made our own rules up at this point. We put our own limitations in. As long as someone doesn't just bring a random like VK, it's heavies anyway, right? But imagine it's supposed to be the artillery matches and then someone brings a VK. I would be a bit disappointed.
I would be so disappointed, and I would expect, the team to take care of their problem child, if you know what I mean. Not that I'm endorsing friendly fire, but,
It's a mutiny, as I tell you, a mutiny.
Yeah, possibly. We're not going to see any mutinies right now, though. We actually had that in our first map, so we don't need to see it again here in map number 3. The VK's out in full force for UoW. That said, that's what UoW likes to do. It's straight down the middle.
Yeah, right down the guts as well, straight through the 5 and 6 lines. When you look at University of Newcastle, trying to play through the typical side here, the 1, 2, 3s, and let's just see if they're going to meet around E and F though, but it seems they will be able to stop right at that initial point there, but of course they're going to be right on the mark there, and they can start putting a little bit of pressure on straight away if they want to, and force University of Waikato out of that particular little entrenched position in town that they've sat on.
Yeah, we'll see if they do make that play. At the moment, though, for UoN, they're on the point. That is going to draw some fire. Blacksify gets hit, but now that we're in heavy tanks, that little chip damage just really doesn't mean as much as it did before.
It doesn't have the same impact, does it?
No.
It's okay, yeah. 100 damage, Before, when 100 damage was literally 1/3 of your life, it's a bit of you start getting a bit hot under the collar. You need a little bit of extra fresh air to just sort of shake off what happened there. But this time around, it's more like, it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, and well, that's a good chunk, though, on Skelemus, 388. That's a bit more like it. All right, UoN, starting to get your shots down. Should be worth noted, though, MBS not been spotted, and MBS could be the one who is able to find the flank. This next shot is going to be very critical. Now they're known.
Now.
How fast can you get the shot? It does
Ooh,
some damage. That's a good shot, and especially with the fire coming down the middle as well. UoN, they need to react, and their reaction is to push on MBS. This will allow Whale straight up the middle, but from behind, that's right, there still is one more UoN member, Napalmer, punishing Whale for this forward motion. Skelemus is going to try to follow behind as the brawl happens around the side. You can see Blacksify taking low, MBS even lower. In fact, MBS is gone. Whale now joining the fray, but numbers not on their side, and as long as Napalmer is sitting back, UoW is willingly driving into a trap. Yeah, that one goes UoN's way.
Yeah, and it all comes back to Napalmer once again. The sharpshooter just landing the shells time after time. You can tell they wanted to make a quick play, take advantage of the flank when they did manage to make that move in. And it seemed to work at the initial start, but a quick reaction time from the University of Newcastle and a little bit of star power from Napalmer really allowed them to take that map home.
Yeah, and they looked quite dominant on that one, so hats off to them in that regards. And now we kind of see what happens when we go back to map 4, because last time a map 4 happened. It was all Artie, and New South Wales won. But last time we saw all Artie between these two, UoW won. So if we do see all the Artie come back again, there is that opening, there is that opportunity for UoW to make the tiebreak happen.
Okay, so if we see Artie now, we know it's
Yeah.
confirmed. It's
Oh, yeah.
100%, 100% the situation.
I think we're going to see it. I really do. I believe it in my heart of hearts that we're going to get the all Artie match. And I believe it in my heart of hearts that this is going to be UoW's best chance to push something to Himseldorf.
Well, what if it was them just saying, "Hey, we're just going to mess with the heart of the commentators right now and everyone watching, and just bring tank destroyers now."
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Your heartstrings gonna be tugged at all? You'd be like,
Oh, you know what?
You know
If you're-
what?
if you're-
I'll take tank destroyers.
I'll take tank destroyers. I think tank destroyers. No, my heart of heart gets ruined if we run the heavies back. Then we're.
You see a whole bunch of VKs fly onto them and be like, "This is
Yeah.
horrible. This is not the game I
Yeah.
paid for. You're not getting paid to watch it." Like, well,
If Napalmer changes the ARL to the other VKP and we get 6 VKs, then I have a problem. Also, shout out to the ARL, the Ari in that last one.
Yeah.
Like that was
big
that's
shots.
not a take we've seen that much so far in this event.
And again, Napalm are just shining as well. 2,045 damage. That is a monstrous amount. Literally the lion's share of the team as well. And that's not really to take anything away from Pope Gordon and Black Sapphire as well. They definitely did their job in that initial one. Nice turnarounds, dished the damage, of course, and yeah, just nice little focused gameplay from both the teams.
It was focused by UoW, but not in sync, right? They just were kind of driving one at a time through that little valley, just getting shelled by Napalmer, and trying to act like the Napalmer problem didn't actually.
Hey, look,
exist.
even if you're getting shelled, right? As long as you're focusing on that one direction as you're moving through, even if you're taking hits, it's focused gameplay.
True. I don't know. I just try not to.
I mean, you might be
focus on,
tunneling on the wrong thing, but
Yeah.
it's focused gameplay.
Look, I just don't want to focus in on like Canadian boy bands, okay? So I don't like that whole one direction approach. Either way, we should be getting ready to go into our next map in just a few seconds. Again, for UoW, it's their last chance, last one to push this one into a tiebreaker. Of course, they're going to have another series later today, but I do not like their odds against UQ when that happens. So I feel like this is going to be a big one for them. Will they pull it off? Will we get a tiebreaker? Or will UON cement themselves as the number 3 seed? I think they're about ready to find this one out. Mendrix, last second prediction. Who gets it?
I reckon we're going to
Arties.
I reckon Wollongong, Waikato is going to bring it back here. I saw UoW and I immediately went back to my university days. I like to think I'm young from time to time, but Waikato, I think they're going to be able to get this next one in and bring it to a tiebreaker.
I kind of have to agree right now. I think in the Arties, it's going to be their best chance, and I don't know, heart of the cards, whatever you want to call it, it could come
Heart
through.
of the Shells?
Heart of the Shells, Heart of the Tank, Heart of Iron. That's a different game. Yeah, we'll see how this one does play off. 7 minutes, of course, on that clock. And once again, we are seeing the defending team very quickly on the move. This time, both sides thinking, haha, we'll make a flank through the forest instead, and they're driving straight into each other.
This is like, they'll never expect the floor of the forest, and it's straight away, oh no, the forest, they're all here.
They are, though.
Spotted up straight on the back end there as well. The shots might come through straight away, but they are holding just for the time being as well. They want to get in up close and personal.
The Rams!
Big hits there. Both of them down to 86 HP apiece, but they're still standing at this moment in time, and that means they wouldn't be able to get a few more shots off. Napalm are sitting back once again, looking to see if he can land some long shots there. Pope Gordon, it looks good, but it isn't.
That one had to hit, and now Pope Gordon is surrounded by 3 very hostile, very desperate UoW members that want that win. But the question is, can their shots connect? Skelemis got closer to Whale than they did to Pope Gordon. It's Whale kind of hits right in front of them. The shot from downtown, Napalmer gets one, and Pope Gordon, they're just running decoy right now. MBS and Skelemis, they're forced on top of that hill, but they have to be careful of their positioning. Another shot goes wide from Skelemis as Pope Gordon continues to drive MBS around. We're waiting for Napalmer's next shot. Skelemis misses, MBS does not, and now it's a 2v1.
Yeah, he slowed down. He should have just kept on running around in a circle. So another one's going to go through. It's going to be on the mark, but no damage is actually going to be landing here. Napalm are trying to do the best impression of Kobe as possible, but fortunately, it's going to hit the ring. Now, Skelemis, is beginning to make the move as well, just to actually catch up and close that distance between Napalmer and himself. And this is the thing. Napalm is so good at those shots. Having a little bit of distance is definitely going to be an advantage, but that advantage is dwindling away second by second as the rest of the team from Waikato begin to close in on him.
Skelemus is spotted.
Here we
Napalmer
go.
sees Skelemus. And I mean, again, the reload time is so long from Napalmer. It really needs to hit. But if that thing hits, I mean, the damage of that tank, I mean, the Hummel is
Spotted
just
as well.
gonna
Napalmer's
destroy.
spotted.
Oh no!
It hit,
Skelemus
but
survives
it's
on
not
29.
enough to finish. Not enough to finish. He's like, I'm a sitting duck. I need to run away. His Napalmer's moving on the side as well.
Miss.
Skelemus shot will miss. Here comes MBS.
Oh, MBS
though.
wants to point blanket, though. MBS does not want to miss. MBS wants to be for sure. And MBS secures the kill. UoW take us to a tiebreak.
Ooh, and we'll be moving to Himmelsdorf as well. And I told you it was going to be Waikato bringing it home there for that as well. So pretty happy to see that we do get a tiebreaker as well. And Waikato ever so closer to get themselves well and truly on the board in this tournament.
The rush strategy finally paid off in the end too, right? Like, they put it together, rush down that tank. They are able to take Napalmer out. I wonder how different that would have been had Skelemus not survived on 29 health. Could Napalmer have made the 2v1 happen?
It would have been rough. I think it definitely would have been possible if those initial shots that did land didn't actually break in that sense there. So I think I'm a little bit worried to see what would happen if it was the other way around, but yeah, I think it could have happened if things just went a little bit more on the advantage of Napalm there, and unfortunately was not the scenario.
Was it meant to be? So we go to our tiebreak. We're going to Himmelsdorf. Might be a little bit longer, it sounds like, before we get this one set up, ready to go. So we have a little bit of breathing time to relax and get ready right now, Mendrix. And it's all about that speculation here. What fun, different, unique approach are we going to see from these teams? Is it going to be the tank destroyers? Is it going to be the light tanks again? Is it going to be more arty? Like, I have no idea.
I'd love tank destroyers. I feel like tank destroyers for the tiebreakers make sense, don't you?
Also, no longer mediums?
No, yeah, I was feeling like, oh yeah, medium, scrappy, fun play, but when I come back to it, you know, it's like you want TDs for the TBs, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm feeling. That's why I've sort of like that alliteration just seems to make sense to me.
I have to agree, and I kind of want the TDs as well, because we haven't seen 6 TDs, and I think we saw it once, maybe. Did we see it once in round 4 last week,
yeah.
or was... I feel like we may have seen it once, but that was a long time ago, Mendrix. That was ages ago. That was a week ago. Yeah, no, none of that. We want to see it again right here to determine who is going to get through. However, I mean, if you're UoW, you're pushing for more of those artillery rounds, because it's usually playing well to their strengths of just sort of rushing, being hard to pin down, and then, you know, getting your odd kill here or there.
Yeah, well, that's exactly true. It seems that artillery does play towards the strengths of the University of Waikato. So they're probably saying to them, hey, we're pushing for artillery at this point. But I think University of Newcastle will be the ones that actually bring it home. I said University of Waikato would take it to the tiebreaker, but instead they'd be finishing it off. I reckon now you really get to see University of Newcastle really turn on and give something to Napalmer to make sure that he can shine once again.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the case right here. So we will see, hopefully, them get into play. At the moment, you know, we're still trying to figure out how long that game is getting together, so it shouldn't be too long. We are going to throw it to a break, though, before we get into it, just because we have a fair bit of time before we go get running. So throwing it to a break. When we come back in roughly about 7 minutes time, we will have our final map to determine this all. So do stay with us. Last round of tanks when we return.
Hey, I'm Rose Danielle. I'm a cosplayer, streamer, AV tech, and a massive Destiny fan. I'm going to check out how Destiny 2 runs on the Nitro 5. Look at this. Look, bring the camera in. Look at this. This is running Destiny at highest. It's still hitting 60 frames per second. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't believe it. I cannot fathom that this thing has that much grunt in such a tiny form factor. And there's so much going on the screen at the same time, like particle effects and stuff, and I can barely hear the fans too. If I had headphones on while I was gaming, You wouldn't even hear it. I like this thing. Can I take this? Will you guys mind if I take this? Like actually, hold on. Is this plugged in? This, wait, Smooth, get away. It's fine.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I
so much buildup, Mendrix, for one round of tanks. UON, UoW. Can UoW get their first series victory? Will they be able to break the defense of UON? We'll find out as we're making our way to Himseldorf in just a few moments. I've been told there's going to be a bit of a meme happening. What do you think it is? I'm so curious.
Okay, so we don't know what meme it is. I feel like it has to be light tanks. Come on, you have to make it light tanks.
Dude, you've changed every single time. First it was the mediums, then it was like, oh no, keep it back on the hardest.
You gotta move quick in the world of
light tanks
commentating, Max. Okay, you gotta be on your. You have to be nimble. You have to be on your toes. You have to go left and right. Sometimes people go right, but you go left because you know what's happening. And I'm telling you right now, it's light tanks.
All right, I think it's the TDs. I think we're going tank destroyers. Either way, I think we're about to find out right now heading onto the map. It is the TDs!
Oh,
the tank destroyers are going to be coming through.
Why did I change? I was correct to begin with. Oh.
I don't know why you changed, but we got, a couple Churchills, more Churchills, just Churchills everywhere you look, as well as an SU-100 and a little bit of some Will action as well with the Panzer. This is going to be an interesting one, though, because, again, UON, they had the advantage. They chose to defend. Whether or not that's going to be the winning choice, well, we have 7 minutes to find out.
And that's a big thing here, right? If it does come to that point where, hey, we're just going to back off, we're going to run away at this point, and of course, you do only have one tank alive there. It's past, of course, or enough time has elapsed that it's only 2 minutes. You do just win by default at that point as well. And they're going to just park themselves in some good spots here as well. Nice and transfer positions with at least a little bit of vision on the side. And I wonder if it is going to be the Waikato actually moving into this trap that's being set at the moment by the University of Newcastle.
It's Waikato, Mendrix. All they do is move in.
I mean, yeah.
All what UoW does is move in. They just charge in. So I mean, it might not be right away. We might have to wait a little bit. But even when they knew the trap was set up, we saw them move in. So I think eventually, they're going to drive into something here.
It's literally that scene where it's like, so what's the plan? We spring the trap. What happens after that? We sprung the trap, right? It's literally just, like you said, and they're moving together as a unit. Seems to be that good old Caterpillar coming into the play as well. So of course, it's going to be Skelmus leading the charge. Whale behind, and of course, MBS in the middle of that sandwich.
And as soon as they come around, do they get spotted?
No,
still,
not yet.
Still,
all good. Still good.
Pretty good.
It's going to be playing through the train line by the looks of it.
I mean, they made a train. It only makes sense that they go down the line. Choo-choo. Here comes UoW. Trying to make their way to UON Station. It's still a little bit of a ways away right now. And as soon as this train gets spotted, who panic fires into the back of their teammate? Does MBS kill Skelmus or does Whale kill MBS?
I think Skelmus just reverses and rams both his team and kills them both.
Yeah, no, Skelmus will just stop just to make sure
somehow
that
he panic fires shooting forward and the shell just rebounds off a wall.
Oh, they've been spotted.
Here we go. All three of them as well, and they're just going straight into it. Skelmus is getting obliterated. He's down to 94 HP. He's like, he's trying to slow down. He's locked in. MBS can't move. Whale was trying to get in front to protect his teammate, and he's like, you know what? You're a sitting duck, mate. I'm getting behind the wreckage of this train, and it's already down to 2-3.
I like that. Whale just completely abandoned the plan in my eyes. The second something went wrong, Whale panicked and just punched it as far forward as possible. Here comes Napalmer, though, around the corner. Whale's already been poked. Napalmer can't quite muscle through that house. I think is actually playing a little bit of footsies right now. MBS getting pelted from two sides. Hello, Napalmer. Goodbye, MBS. And then Napalmer's gun just slinks back behind the wall.
Oh, you know why these guys are tank destroyers. The damage is ridiculous. Napalmer walks on through. Whale's just sitting there. And it's literally just just gets completely taken out. That was literally a beached whale at a scenario that couldn't do anything. 3 tanks looking down the barrel. And the University of Newcastle bring it home at the very end there for this series.
I love just Whale's gun poking around the corner, blowing up a tank, and then just slinking right back behind. Again, shout out to the wonderful people behind the scenes here, both Neptune and Nuttery, doing a fantastic job keeping this all together. But what a way to end group stages. UoW didn't get that series win. They'll have one more chance against UQ. They'll probably fail, but you know what? They kept this one interesting, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, really, I got to hand it to all the players. They all kept it very interesting, especially in this last one. It was sort of getting to that point. It's like, oh, cool, are we going to see the VK Zerkin? It's going to be a fun this one. And they just completely turned everything around from us and gave us a really good show in this final round.
Yeah, it was a fantastic final round, and it was a fantastic series so far. Unfortunately, though, as mentioned before, last week, it's going to be our final week, grand final day, but we're doubling down. 4 series are going to be played, both the semifinals as well as that grand final, Mendrix. Now, I would ask you for your prediction, but judging by the way how things are going, I'd be expecting you to change it 3 or 4 times before we get there.
Yeah, most likely. Look, I'm gonna give you a team that's not even in the tournament. Okay,
True.
It's gonna be like, who do you expect to win? And I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm expecting it to be Monash. All right, so who knows what's gonna happen?
That's a bold pick. That's a bold pick. We'll see if he'll be able to bring it through. One last time though, before we do sign off, I would like to thank our sponsors for this event as well, with Predator, as well as AOC and RIG. Big thank you to the 3 of them: Predator, our gaming PC partner; AOC, our monitor partner; and RIG, our headset partner, for this event. Furthermore, if you want to find out more about the AEL and upcoming events and live streams, check out AUE Sports. AU Esports, makes sense. AU Esports League, actually, to be specific, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Furthermore, you can follow us here on Twitch, AEL Uni and AEL Uni 2. You can follow Mendrix as well, has his tweet right down there, Mendrix NM. What does the NM stand for?
My actual name, Nathan Mendez.
Oh, I thought it was never misses or something like that. Something cool.
I would know it would be AM at that point.
Always misses. Fair enough. I'm Formal Casting as well. It's been another great event, and we'll catch you all next week for our grand final.
Hey, I'm Rose Danielle. I'm a cosplayer, streamer, AV tech, and a massive Destiny fan. I'm going to check out how Destiny 2 runs on the Nitro 5. Look at this. Look, bring the camera in. Look at this. This is running Destiny at highest. It's still hitting 60 frames per second. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't believe it. I cannot fathom that this thing has that much grunt in such a tiny form factor. And there's so much going on the screen at the same time, like particle effects and stuff. And I can barely hear the fans too. If I had headphones on while I was gaming, you wouldn't even hear it. I like this thing. Can I take this? Will you guys mind if I take this? Like actually, hold on. Is this plugged in? This way, smooth, get away. It's fine.
I live my life on the run. I say I'm not giving up. I may be living alone, but I still believe in love. In a similar way, I feel I'm losing my conscience. Traveling for days without my knowledge of provenance.